just wanna be great, yeah, yeah, yeah. I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great, yeah, 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 yeah. This is a statement to appreciate all that is vacant. It's just for the taking. If you make up your mind, you can take it. I'm never complacent. I would work in a mansion or basement, yeah. There's no replacement for persistence, it's a patience, yeah. In this life, I wanna be soaring, to feel sun inside when it's pouring. And I'll fight till anxiety is foreign. I'm so sick of my mind's extortion. My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great, yeah, yeah, yeah. I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great, yeah, yeah, yeah. Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it. And I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory, yeah. Don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring, I just want a life that is worth every day exploring, My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great, yeah, yeah, yeah. I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great, yeah, 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 yeah. This is a statement to appreciate all that is vacant. It's just for the taking. If you make up your mind, you can take it. I'm never complacent. I would work in a mansion or basement, yeah. There's no replacement for persistence, it's a patience, yeah. In this life, I wanna be soaring, to feel sun inside when it's pouring. And I'll fight till anxiety is foreign. I'm so sick of my mind's extortion. My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great, yeah, yeah, yeah. I just wanna be great.
good evening, everybody, and welcome to another night of Apex Autoglass and Tinny 410 Sprint Car Championships here on OSRN. My name is Bert Wojcik. Alongside me again this week here is the great Drake York.
Defensive line at 3 and 4. Does Merriman have anything up top? Does he have anything on the bottom? Checker flag is out. Mason Hannigan, your winner at the dirt track at Charlotte.
Bergeron takes the defensive line. He'll pick up win number 5 of the year. Alex Bergeron wins at Weedsport. First win of the season off of turn number 4. Hayden Carroll wins here at Cedar Lake. Tyler Shell will win the 4th season of the Apex Autoglass and Tinny 410 Sprint Car Championship presented by B&B Race Simulators. He wins the championship once again here tonight.
Hello everybody, welcome to tonight's racing action here with the Next Level 360 Sprint Cars. Tonight, the series heads into the Carolinas, North Carolina to be exact, here at the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway. I'm Drake York. Joining me right now will be Joe White. Hopefully Bert Wojcik will hop in the chat later, but qualifying underway for the Next Level Racing 360's here at the dirt track at Charlotte. A big, fast, sweeping speedway. Kenny Miller right now being shown the fastest. Alex Rzinski, Chase Wolf, Ernie Williams, Randy Shreves, David Allen. Drivers out there in qualifying. But Joe, we're getting ready for heat race number 1.
Yeah, we are there, and that's going to be a good one here. As like I say, we got our lineup here tonight. Kenny Miller going to be out front in this one. Chance will start second. Randy Shreves up in third. Timothy Smith there in fourth. Ryland Pearson, my bad, there in fifth. Justin Osborne in sixth. Grant Bick up in seventh. Remington Wade eighth. Jason Waller ninth. And then Brody Brown's going to round out the 10th place spot. And, you know, this 360 series here, Drake, has been really exciting. Now, this is kind of almost say this is my backyard. I'm about 50 minutes from this track. And I believe it's more known. I think the World of Outlaw comes here. But I think, don't they run the late models here, super late models here also? I could be mistaken. I mean,
This is actually the home of the World Finals, probably one of the greatest weekends in dirt track racing with the World of Outlaws sprint cars, late models, and big blocks.
Okay, yeah. And I heard somebody about a couple months ago, several months ago, had been down there because they have a big event. I mean, this track sits sandwiched right in between. Obviously, on one side you have that great 4-wide. Actually, just got that grandstand way off on the backside there, folks. That's the 4-wide. Yeah, I think that was the 4-wide drag strip. And then obviously you have the NASCAR track on the other side of the road right beside of it. They used to have the little small oval. It is still there, but they sold that track. It is here on iRacing, the Concourse, call it. But we're going racing. 4 great tracks here, but this dirt track here, like you said, it brings about some great racing. We won't see it here in iRacing as we go green, but they say in real life it gets very dusty.
Hopefully no dust here for us tonight with the Next Level Racing 360s. Kenny Miller leads him down the backstretch and through 3 and 4. He'll come around to complete lap number 1 as one car into the wall and upside down in turn number 4.
Justin Osborne upside down in that one. That puts, wow, unfortunately he's going to have a long way to run in this one. But remember, the top 2 go straight into the feature. And right now, Chance Wolfman's hanging on to second. But Shreves won't, says he's trying on the inside.
Shreves trying to steal away that second and final transfer spot while Smith lays back in the weeds in that 4th spot as they rocket down the front stretch into turns 1 and 2. And Charlotte, big, fast racetrack, as I mentioned at the top of the show. And with the way the racetrack is right now in the first heat races, kind of like we see everywhere, it's going to be hard to pass, but especially here at Charlotte, that dirty air really can bite some drivers. And you see Shreves there running the bottom, or I should say the middle side of the racetrack, trying to get some clean air on that nose wing.
Yeah, you see Miller still out front, and then Wolf hanging on to second place. We got Shreves right there, like you said. It's a nose-to-tail race so far. It looks like it's more of a highline style groove that these guys are running, maybe a little bit there in the middle. Be interesting to see, though, who's going to travel down to that low line. We saw that a couple weeks ago. Rocky was the man who went down there. So let's see if anybody tries to travel down there. But it looks like Wolf's closing in.
He may have a shot here. Actually, no, that's Shreves, closing in just a little bit on Wolf down the front straightaway for that second and final transfer spot. Kenny Miller still has a sizable advantage as they dive off into 3 and 4 here. Shreves, like I said, Joe, trying to get some clean air on that nose wing. On big tracks like this, especially, dirty air definitely comes into play.
And he's going to look to the inside, see if he can't throw a slide job move. Just can't quite complete it yet. You know, we saw this last week at the track that the first race, it was kind of just, you know, pick and choose where you want to go. Looks like it's going to be Wolf, hold him off. Coming to the line, it's going to be as Miller's going to hang on here. What a first heat race this is.
Chase Wolf is going to hang on to the second and final transfer spot. He will go into tonight's feature event. Then it's Shreve, Smith, Wade, Waller, Pearson, Brown. Going on to the Consi later on tonight, or actually I should say one of the many Consis we have here tonight as we get ready for heat race number 2.
Absolutely. We got Alex Rzinski going to be out front in this one. John Helm's going to start in second. Randy Fritz there in third. Asho Block going to be up in fourth. Liam Garrison fifth. Kenny Hoffman in sixth. Isaac Soares in seventh. Ryan Frug there in eighth. Stephen Tuberville ninth. And Stephen Volson rounds the top 10.
We always talk about how the heat race lineups are decided. Straight up race fans. So Alex Rzinski was second fast in qualifying, so he'll get a start on the pole of heat race number 2. And
let's bring Kenny Miller down here, though. We got Kenny Miller for you, so we'll bring him down here and let's get a word right fast with him.
Absolutely. Let's bring in Kenny Miller. Any really good runs here with the past few weeks with the Next Level 360s as well with the Apex Autoglass 410s. Got to be feeling really good about your car here at Charlotte, especially the way you just dominated that heat race.
Yeah, it felt good to lay a pretty good lap there in qualifying and stick us out front for that heat race, so that definitely helped. And now we'll just tune it up for the feature and see how we go.
Kenny Miller, your winner of heat race number 1 here at the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yeah. Going to see what Alex Rzinski can do. Remember, he had a tough week last week. Had some good qualifying and some good pace early on, but had some trouble in his heats, and then and even in one feature. So probably a week that he wants to forget. Maybe some redemption here as he starts out front here in heat race number 2.
Absolutely, and you got to look at John Helms too on the outside of the front row alongside Szerzynski. He's always a perennial threat wherever we go with the next level 360s or the Apex Auto Glass and Tinting with 410 sprint cars. Lights are out, set to go green, same rules apply. 10 laps, top 2 go into tonight's feature event. The rest of them will be sorted into a consi as Szerzynski slowly but surely brings us down to the green flag of heat race number 2, and we're underway.
Yeah, and you see Szerzynski gets to jump out. He's got Helm right there in second, but boy, Showblock and company right there on the back end. And Helm says, you know what, I want the lead. As Showblock's back there, he's got his hands full with Fritsch, but Helm, meanwhile, is going to see if he can't close in on the back end. I don't know, where's the passing lane here so far? I mean, nobody's been able to travel down low.
Absolutely, and Charlotte's kind of been known for that over the last few years or so, and especially here on iRacing. I think tonight you're going to see really calculated passes with big bombs to go along with them, kind of a yin and yang when it comes to making a pass of the Wing 360 sprint car. But I'll tell you what, Tyler Showblock, he's hanging on to the back bumper of John Helms through turns 1 and 2, and it's a 3-car breakaway at the front of the field, but Showblock wants to get past Helms and make it into tonight's feature event.
Yes, he does. You see Showblock right there trying to see if he can't close in. Helms is on the back tail. Tanker Szerzynski is going to look to the inside. Maybe he's going to throw that huge slide job. Is it going to stick? That's the question. As Szerzynski is able to crisscross back over, this is what we're used to seeing. I call it the do-si-do. And right there, now Helm wasn't able to take his momentum. And as I say that, never mind. Here he comes.
Here comes Helms across the groove off of turn number 4, and it looks like he's going to clear Szerzynski into 1, but Szerzynski has a run, and he's going to use it to his advantage. He'll retake the lead. Helms back to the inside down the back straightaway. Good racing here for the lead in heat race number 2, but here comes Ty Showblock trying to steal away one of those transfer spots with now 2 laps to go.
Now I'm going to tell you what, classic sprint style racing out here with these wing sprints, back and forth slide job. Now you've got Hoffman in the mix. As you see a little bobble by Showblock up on the wall, he's able to gather it back up. It's something we'll have to keep an eye on, that rear tire getting up in the wall, slowing him down. As Showblock's able to pull away, Szerzynski falls to second, Helm out front. Those 2 guys are moving away as the white flag flies.
John Helms has solidified his spot at the front of this field. Szerzynski trying to hang on. It looks like he's going to have a big enough buffer over Showblock. Oh, the 2 leaders make contact. Helms upside down. Coming to the checker. Szerzynski involved. Hoffman comes through to win the race. And Ty Showblock scoring the second and final transfer spot.
That's about all I can say on that one. Wow. I would not have thought that, but, you know, sometimes you got to think of the big picture. I'm in the show. Don't make any crazy moves. You saw the 2 leaders come together there, Drake, and then just boom, Hoffman, Showblock now in the show for sure. Helm and him's going to have to run the numbers, as that puts us in heat race number 3. But what an exciting one. Ernie Williams Jr. out front. Joe Howell starting in second. Colby Rocky there in third. Dustin Sargent in fourth. Roman Gerhardt in fifth. Austin Griffey in sixth. Kurt Quest there in seventh. Corey Sutton in eighth. Jason Law there in ninth, and Terrell Wheeler rounds out the 10th place. And interesting, see Hoffman up here yet. We'll see if he comes up here for an interview. But man, what a finish to that heat race 2.
Absolutely, you said it, and man, I just did not expect Szerzynski and Helms to get into it coming to the checkered, and maybe when we get some downtime, we'll have to back it up and take a look at the replay. But from what we saw in the live angle here on SRN, it looked like Szerzynski dived deep into the corner. I mean, when those 2 made contact, it was pretty darn close to corner exit. So you have to imagine that bomb Szerzynski threw was long and deep down into the corner, and they made contact coming to the checkered. And some way, somehow, the seas parted for Hoffman to sneak through and take the heat race victory as we roll on now into heat race number 3.
Let's bring Kenny Hoffman down real quick, get a word with him at that race winner.
Absolutely, Kenny Hoffman, your winner of heat race number 3, and Kenny, obviously, calamity as we came down to the checkered flag of that one. Tell me how that happened for you and how the seas parted.
I don't really know, to be honest. I was just like going to take a comfortable 4th, and I decided to go bottom. I don't really know what happened. The corner of my VR, I saw cars get together, so I really pushed it there, and I got really lucky.
Hoffman, your winner of that thrilling heat race number 2. Again, we roll on into heat race number 3 here at the dirt track at Charlotte.
Yeah, and it has been exciting so far. I hope everybody's enjoying it out there. Appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. Like I say, we're here for the Next Level Racing Apex 360 wing sprints tonight here. As Charlotte Speedway, like Drake said, here we go. Heat race number 3. Williams has had an up and down week last weekend himself. So we'll have to see if he can bounce back. And Rocky's troubles continue as we saw in that last heat race. But green flag. Williams says, I'm going to try to get out of town. And already a few cars in the back. That's Sargent upside down. Looks like with Gephardt also.
Break for those guys on lap number 1, but it's going to be Ernie Williams leading lap number 1. Joe Howe in that second spot. And Joe, we've seen it time and time again here at Charlotte. If you started on the front row, you definitely have to capitalize in your heat race on the start. I mean, because look at this, the front 2 starters have solidified themselves at the front as Ernie Williams catches a piece of the fence. It's going to allow Joe Howe to the inside down the backstretch into 3 and 4, and he'll take the lead.
You know, and I think that's going to be what we're going to see tonight, as the wall is going to be the Achilles heel for these guys. They are up there kicking that top side cushion, and with that, it's risk versus reward, just like it was a couple weeks ago at Lernersville. You get up there, you know it's the fast way around the track, but that wall tonight has been the place that these drivers have hurt themselves. Williams got up there, got hooked on it just a little, slowed his momentum, allowed Howell to get around. Now he's seeing if he can, but you can see how much faster Williams is coming off the turn, but you can also see that, man, he is close to that wall as he goes for a slide job.
Williams dimes it down off the corner and slides deep into the corner down in 3 and 4. Howe crosses him back at the start-finish line. It's going to be Joe Howe with the lead, but who's going to have it off of 2? Howe slides up, Williams back to the inside. Araki is right there and waiting in the 3rd spot as these 2 duke it out for the lead. Araki peeks his nose in down the inside part of the racetrack. 3-horse race for the lead, and Araki back to the bottom, catfishing around the Charlotte Motor Speedway dirt track. I'm
going to tell you, I think we called it early on. We said if anybody's going to try the low line, it's going to be Araki. We saw him do this last week, and it worked out magically for him. Right now, he is down on that bottom. I like that term. You say down there catfishing, so let's hope he catches a lot of fish and catches a win along with it. But right now, he's got 2nd place, and he's made it work. The thing about it is Hal's going to take that momentum and slingshot right back around him. These guys are battling it for that final transfer spot.
Here we come down to the checkered flag in heat race number 3. Williams wins, and Joe Howe outlasts Araki for the 2nd and final transfer spot in thrilling fashion. And Joe, he really set that up going down to turns 1 and 2, because at least down the front stretch on corner entry, he took the bottom away from Araki, and I think that's what really helped him claim the 2nd and final transfer spot.
Yeah, and I don't think it's over for that bottom lane. We just saw right there. It might work as later on in this into tonight. We'll have to see. But heat race number 4, David Allen out front in this one. Coulter West starting in 2nd. Jason Randolph there in 3rd. Brian Hughes up in 4th. Jared Kuno in 5th. J.P. Schrader up in 6th. Taylor Winland up in 7th. Trey Gurr started at 8th. Corey Jazz there in 9th. And Blaine Brink in the 10th place spot. And let's see. I don't have a winner from the last one quite yet. We'll see if he jumps up here. But so far tonight, wow, that's about the word I love using, is wow, because it has been some thrilling racing here at Charlotte.
No kidding, Joe. I mean, we have seen some fantastic stuff, whether it's being in heat race number 2's case, not exactly beating and banging coming to the checkered, but a lot of calamity coming to the checkered, and then Joe Howe and Colby Araki, who I'd like to point out never made contact that entire time they were battling for that 2nd and final transfer spot, a battle that lasted for the last half of that heat race. So lots of good racing, some dirty, some clean, but good racing nonetheless here at the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Our last one, don't see him up there in the interview, and so we'll get him later on in the night here. But again, the first 3 heat races, folks, if you haven't spilled your popcorn or drink in excitement over this one, maybe you might need to go do some of that catfishing that Drake talks about, because that might get you rolling. I don't know what else that we can do here tonight. These guys have put on a show.
Absolutely, as we set to go now for heat race number 4, Coulter West. David Allen, the front row. West lines up on the outside of the front row. Allen down low.
Be a good one. Allen out front. He's been strong in the last couple weeks. Wendland out there in 8th. He's got a long way to go to get up to the front. He definitely's got the skill to do it. Last week wasn't the week that he wanted. Have to see if he can turn that around here. He's starting back there in the 8th place spot. Pace truck is in. Here we go. Back green flag. Heat race number 4 is underway.
Green flag is out. Keep your eye on Jason Randolph in that white 487 as he gets a great start down to turns 1 and 2. But off the corner, it's going to be David Allen leading. But the second spot's still a little bit of a debate as Schneider with a big slider. He's going to take 4th. But up front, it's Allen and West, your top 2 transfers right now.
It is, and you see they're trying to move away from that 3rd place there of Randolph. You see West up top. He is hanging on that wicked cushion up there along with Allen out front, trying to be a little bit off the wall to see if he can. Remember, these are open setups, so it all depends on how you got that car set up, how well you're going to run. Trying to put a little bit of a medium, I'm going to say medium style slider line. As you see there, we've seen all night. Coulter gets into the wall, slows him up big time.
Here comes Randolph, and he is right there to pounce, Joe, as he lines up West down to 3 and 4, dips it down just a little bit lower to get some clean air on that front nose wing. At turn number 4, though, Coulter West miraculously is going to hang on to that second and final transfer spot. Now he's pulling away from Randolph down the backstretch.
We've seen it time and time again tonight. The guys get in the wall, they mess up a little bit, but they've been able to keep that momentum going, and that's a word that we love I love using a lot, is momentum. But you've got to. If not, the guy behind you is really going to step. And you see, Wes is pulling away ever so slightly, but he's also pulling away, Randolph is, from JP, who's got his hands full with a Kunos on behind him.
Schneider made a pretty big move on Kuno on lap number 1, made it stick, albeit both of them slapping the fence off at turn number 4 to going. But right now they run quite a ways out of that second and final transfer spot now with 3 laps to go, and Coulter West definitely having a better car than Jason Randolph, as he was just able to drive away from him. But who's got the best car on the racetrack, no doubt about it, David Allen. This machine at the front of the field as he's going to turn for the white flag off at turn number 4. 1 lap to go for David Allen in heat race number 4.
Yeah, white flag flies. He's got a second lead over West, and West has at least almost a half to 6/10 of a lead over Randolph. As they come out of 4, it's going to be Allen and West, the top 2, going straight to the feature here tonight. Rest of them going to have to run through those consies, but it's been some good, solid heat racing. We've seen some close-quartered heat racing. We've seen some guys utilize and take off and kind of separate themselves from the field. So it's going to be interesting to see what they can do as the night goes on, getting into the feature. And racing's taking his time. D-Main here tonight. Got on the grid here for our D-Main here. Randy Streves going to be the man out front in this one. Jason Randolph's going to be in 2nd. Austin Griffey up in 3rd. Stephen Volsong in 4th. Jason Waller in 5th. Brian Hughes up in 6th. Kirk Quest in 7th. Ryan Frug there in 8th. Grant Vick in 9th. Blaine Brick rounds out the top 10. I'm not 100% sure how many go right to the feature in this one. As, Drake, you know, they can either run what they call the alphabet soup, whereas let's say you just take the winner of this one, he would actually have to go to the C main, and then he would actually have to get in the transfer of that one to go to the B main, and then he'd have to get in the transfer of that one to go to the feature. But here it's basically however many. I'm going to say it's got to be at least 4. We'll say 4. So if we get in the top 4, it is. Oh well, there you go. Good guess. So top 4. Will instantly go to the feature, but the rest of them, unfortunately, go home.
Absolutely, and as you mentioned, you make it in the top 4 out of this D-Main, you'll go straight on into tonight's feature event. Pretty different from the alphabet soup, I'll be honest. When I first came over, we're calling the Firm Motorsports events, which include the Paquette Photography Midget Championship, right here with the Next Level Racing 360's in the Apex series with the 410s. Took a little bit of getting used to, because in sprint car racing, pretty sure if anybody does it, there's not a lot of racetracks that do it
Might be some local ones that
No
might
series
do it.
I know
yeah.
of does this format, but it does make it unique to all the firm motorsports events. And
Yeah.
that's
You don't
a
think
little
any
bit
maybe
of
like
extra flair.
small tracks might do it or anything like that in real life?
In sprint cars, I don't know, because I
Okay.
mean, even with the local stuff, in my experiences with California, Indiana, and other tracks, it's an alphabet soup, and
I got you.
pretty much every series that I know of,
Okay.
sprint cars
Following
in
that
general
World of
does this
Outlaws,
format.
probably what they're doing. So.
Anyway, we're getting ready to go here for the D main first consi of the night. Treves, Randolph will bring us down. A little bit of a staggered start. We'll see if the officials keep that one going, but it's green flag off into turns 1 and 2, and Griffey's going to take that second spot away from Randolph right off the line. They now dive off into 3 and 4. One car around gets T-boned. Back behind, Brian Hughes, one of the cars upside down, and Kurt Quist, the other car involved. Their nights will come to a premature end as Jason Randolph getting bounced around like a ping pong ball towards the mid-pack right there, as Whaler now trying to hang on to that second and final transfer spot. It is a hornet's nest back behind him, Joe.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, just correction on there, 4 of them, but look out! I was just going to say, those guys were battling hard for that transfer spot. Austin Griffey, though, has had a wild couple weeks, but he's fighting back here to get into the show. He's 1 spot out. The problem is he's got Vic right there with him. Krug is sitting in that final transfer spot. He missed that huge little wreck that just took Randolph Bolsong out. But meanwhile, behind them, this has got to be the story. You've got Griffey and Vic right here back and forth. These guys have got to settle out and see which one wants to go to the show, because Treves right now is walking away from the pack.
No doubt about it. Treves has had a stranglehold on this one, but I don't know. Looking at Blaine Brink and Waller, they might have a shot at him here in the closing stages of this race. Both of them solidly in a transfer spot. Fruit right now is the 4th and final transfer currently out of this D main. Brink slides to the inside, barely clears Waller. Waller's going to cross him back down the front stretch, and he'll reclaim the second spot off into 1.
Well, I tell you what, we've seen in the other heat races, these guys right now, they're in the show, but they are battling like they're battling for the last lap of the feature here, and it can very well, these guys can touch, so don't count out Griffey or Vic back there, because the way these guys are racing up front, very dangerous. At some point, Brink or Waller's going to have to sit and go, I'm content where I'm at because I'm in the show. I don't want to tap each other, because we've seen that early on, what happened in the one heat race in the last lap. But meanwhile, Brink's got second. Walker sitting there in third. Waller, in third. Krug is just back there minding his own business, but Griffey's closing in.
Griffey may have a shot, as now they are racing in front of him for that third spot between Waller and Frugier. This could be the opening Griffey needs. He takes the high side. He's got a big run as they turn for the white flag off of turn number 4.
Oh, one more shot for him. Does he got enough momentum? Does he got what it takes? He looks to the inside. Out the bad stretch. 2 more turns. Griffey takes the final transfer spot. Can he hang on to it?
Frugier back to the inside. It's going to be a drag race contact, and Frugier's going to take the 4th and final transfer spot as Griffey flips wildly down to turns 1 and 2. Man,
I'm going to tell you what, right there was just a good move by, I'm going to say Frugier was there in the last place. I forgot who it was, but what a wild move that was. My hat's off to Griffey there, but that sends us into the C main as Randy Fritz is going to be out front in this one. Timothy Smith going to start in second. Gerald, who knows, there in third. Terrell Wheeler going to start in fourth. Alex Zerzinski up in fifth. Ryland Pearson in sixth. Corey Jans there in seventh. Corey Sutton in eighth. John Hellman ninth. Justin Osborne in 10th. And Dustin Sargent there in 11th. And just to look at this lineup here real quick, 2 names that we saw in the heat races, they were in the show. Come out of turn 4, they collected each other. John Helm, Alex Zerzinski. There's 4 starting spots here that get you into the night's feature. Right now, Zerzinski is probably in the best spot. Helm's back there in 10th, so he's got some work to cut out for him, but it's anything can go here is about the one word I can use, Drake, that I've seen. You're not out of this thing just because you're in the back, because the way these guys are racing up front, they're forgetting that they're in the show, and then they end up taking themselves out.
Absolutely, and I'm still trying to comprehend what happened right there because two drivers that are very good in the iRacing ranks, you don't expect to see that from either one of them, let alone both of them coming to the checkered when they're both solidly the feature event, and now that relegated them, as you said, all the way back here in the C main event. So it's going to be interesting. Definitely got their work cut out for him. As you said, Helms definitely has most work to do, but say the least,
you get
curious
greedy
to see what's
sometimes,
going to happen
Drake.
if they
You get
find
greedy.
each other.
Yeah, you get greedy sometimes as a driver.
We're going to see what happens. Chevy Silverado off the speedway. Christian Smith on the front row.
It'll be a solid one here. Here we go. Like you said, pace trucks in. Brent Smith up front. Top four go. Kuno Wheeler's the man hanging on to that fourth and final transfer spot. And they're already clicking and banging back here. And who's that? It just come through the middle. Almost Jans tries. Oh boy. Wheeler back. We've got, looks like Pearson's upside down. We got one car going to the moon. That's actually Justin Osborne. Well, that puts Jans and Sutton battling for the fourth place spot. And meanwhile, Brzezinski and Helms now outside still looking in at 7th and 8th. Wow, what a start.
Remember what I said just before this went green. I wonder what happens if they find each other. Well, they found each other, albeit pretty far out of a transfer spot at the moment, but they're going to go side by side down into turn number 3. This is the battle for the 6th spot. Strzezinski has it off the corner. They're going to encounter some cars right in front of them.
Oh, no.
Big crash into one.
And that took Helms right out too. Caution's going to fly here as the race control's going to throw it, but and that'll give us a chance. We'll just go right back on the replay here and show you what exactly happened. Helms basically just minding his own business. It looks like Corey Jazz and those got together in the front. We've seen it all night long. Strzezinski down there on that bottom lane hanging out. I've only seen one other driver do that, but Helm up there on that top, just nowhere to go. You can't stop these cars on dirt on a dime, and right there you just see just nothing he could do. Good thing is, here's the good thing. Caution came out. That will give Helms a shot. He's still back in 8th. Got about 7 to go. Bad thing is, he lost that whole front nose of that car, and that's going to hurt him. Does he have enough to get up into 4th? Meanwhile, Alex Strzezinski, though, Drake, is sitting in that final transfer spot.
Yeah, and I got to believe John Helms is going with the mindset of, well, half the field is basically wrecked themselves already.
He's not out. Yeah, he's not out. Yeah.
He's down, but he's not out. I mean, give out the initial start. We saw one car flip all the way off the exit of the racetrack, and then two collect each other down the back straightaway. And they just had that gnarly crash entering turn number 1. So, like I said, if you're playing by the survival method, still got a shot in here, albeit
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
down in
And
8th.
Well, just to bring
11
that up real quick here, you see Osborne, he's 4 laps down. Even at 4 laps down, if a quick caution was to come out, or a couple cautions for that matter, he could actually get back on the lead lap. Although that is a very tall order to do, but never give up. You never know.
Absolutely. We're going to see what happens here. Now it's Smith, Kuno, Fritsch, and Strzezinski transferring drivers as they run on the speedway as Silverado pace truck off to the infield. Gonna head back to Green Flag Racing this time off of turn number 4.
Yes, it is. You got Smith, Kuno out front, Fritsch, and Strzezinski's battled his way back up in that last transfer spot. You see Smith's going to get the good jump on the field. The battle's going to be for second there. Fritsch and Kuno, they're going to go side by side, tire to tire. Look out on the bottom side, though. Here comes Sargent. Thinks he wants that spot. They are 3 wide out of the turn. We're starting to see some cars utilize that low line. We talked about it earlier. Is it going to come into play? I think so. Right now, Sargent's been able to use it to his advantage.
Him and Akari have been the only guys that make the bottom side of the racetrack work, but Sargent's marching his way up through. They're going to be 3 wide now down the front stretch back into 1. Three-wide battle here now for the second spot as they come off the corner. All these guys, keep in mind, in a transfer spot as they run. And would you look at this, Alex Trzynski out of a transfer spot. Maybe not anymore, down to turn number 1. Now it's a three-way race for third. Trzynski on the fence blast by both of them.
Man, yes, he does. Beautiful move up to second. He was able to make that move work on the top side. Kuno falls right there, but oh, a little tire grabbing between the two as a checkered flag flies. It's going to be Smith, Trzynski, Kuno, Sargent. What a main that was. That throws us over here to the B main here tonight. We got Colby Araki going to be out front. Liam Garrison there in second. Remington Wade in third. JP Schrader there in fourth. Jason Law there in fifth. Stephen Tuberville in sixth. Brody Brown seventh. Trey Gerst in eighth. Roman Gephardt in ninth. Isaac Soares there in 10th. And Taylor Wineland in 11th. But I don't know what else needs to be said about this track tonight. Very, very racy track. And it kind of just throws me back to who's going to win this. Now, I did see earlier that Sparky out there was talking. Unfortunately, the last time we were here at this track, there was a lot of cautions. I kind of see why. It's very racy, and it's a very unforgiving track when you make a mistake, especially tagging the wall or tagging somebody else. And we've seen it all night long. So I'm going to put a lot of it on the track here tonight being so racy. And these guys just, it looks like the setup is great, or their setups are great, and the track is great.
I have to agree with you, but I think another reason that we do see as many cautions as we do here now, you might not remember every reason why we had a caution here back in the Apex Series finale of last season, but it's because it's easy to get strung out on this racetrack too. You talk about being very racy, but it's also very easy for this track to get the single file. So these starts and restarts are the most important parts of the races, in my opinion. So you got to capitalize on these starts, and sometimes a lot of guys make over-aggressive moves on the starts and restarts and tips themselves out and maybe a few other cars. But anyway, B-Main underway here at the dirt track at Charlotte. Akari jumps out to the early lead. And, you know, instantly he goes down there on that bottom. He loves that bottom lane. If it's working, he's going to stay down there. But, oh, car up top. That is JP Schrader. Yep. JP is around. Looks like Garrison is involved. Wade is involved. Remington Wade. Unfortunate for those guys back there taking them out. You see now Brown is around. Mean for that to rhyme, but gets tagged by one other car.
Yep. Looks like that was Turmerville that Turmerville that got him tagged. So battle's on for the last transfer spot. That fourth place, Gephardt and Jason Law.
Gephardt rolling through the middle side off of turn number 4 is going to have the transfer spot at the line. I'm looking at Soares right in front of those drivers running back there in that third spot. He's taking a liking to the Colby Akari line. Kind of misses at that time in 3 and 4, but he's been putting around the bottom here at Charlotte. And he's making some good headway, as well as Wineland out in front of him in that second spot, albeit Wineland running just a bit of a higher line through the corners.
He is, and you know, it seems like that lower line is coming in. Yeah, you got a Rocky right here. If anybody, he's the one that loves it. Now, I always say, though, again, you get up on that wall, it's risk versus reward. It is almost the same thing with that low line. See those little white things down there, folks? I call them donuts. They are tractor tires. They are not as soft as donuts, and they will tear a car straight up and get you definitely in trouble.
Yeah, we see that at basically any dirt track across the United States any given weekend, and a lot of people who have fallen victims to the infield tractor tires over the years. But anyway, look at Soares back up there. He's really changed up his line as we take a look at Winland back in the second spot. But Soares, we talked about him kind of taking a leg in the Colby Akari line, and now he's banging the boards around the speedway just as I say that. He drops down. But Charlotte right now is in prime condition. A lot of lines. You can run the fence, you can run the Donnie Schatz line through the middle, right through the slick, or you can put it around the tractor tires and see if you can make any speed down there. So a lot of options for these drivers with 2 laps to go in tonight's B main.
Right now they're spread up, and now's the time where you want to search, and I think that's what Windland and Soares is doing. Rocky's pretty much content on that low line and low line only. But these guys back here are trying to see, well, where's the fastest? Is it top, middle, bottom? Where does my car work the best? You can see actually Soares is trying to close in here. Oh, that might be a lap car, my bad. As we come to the white flag here, and now it is right there on him, but Windland's going to be able to hold him off. Come across here, it's going to be a Rocky. And the fourth and final transfer spot is going to be Gephardt. But, yeah, they were far enough away there, Drake. Looks like they were just trying to see what they can get, kind of just roundabout here. But that takes us into a warm-up here, folks. And we're going to step away real quick, get a word from a couple sponsors. We'll be right back here in just a few.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another night of Apex Autoglass and Tinny 410 Sprint Car Championships here on OSRN. My name is Bert Wojcik. Alongside me again this week here.
After a brief warm-up session, we're getting ready to go for our 35-lap sprint car feature here for the Next Level Racing 360s at the dirt track at Charlotte. Joe, how does our starting lineup stack up?
I'll tell you what, we got a stacked field of 20 machines here. We got Kenny Miller going to start out front, along with Kenny Hoffman. So the Kenny boys, 1 and 2 out front. Ernie Williams Jr. is going to start in third. David Allen in fourth. Chance Wolf up there in fifth. Tasho Block in sixth. Joe Howell, 7th. Coulter West there in 8th. Randy Shreve starting in 9th. Timothy Smith up in 10th. Kobe Araki there in 11th. Blaine Brink going to start 12th. Alex Szerzynski up in 13th. Tyler Windland up in 14th. Jason Waller 15th. Jared Kunos in 16th. Isaac Soares in 17th. Ryan Frug in 18th. Dustin Sargent 19th. And to round out the field, Roman Gephardt there in 20th. And if you don't need or if you don't know more of a star-studded field than that, you know, it maybe tune in tomorrow night. There might be even more of one, but we got a lot of great drivers out here tonight about to do battle here at Charlotte.
No doubt about it, and we'll be back at it, as you mentioned, same time, same place, same network, same places to watch the Apex Autoglass and Tinting Wing 410 Sprint Car Championship tomorrow here at the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway here on OSRN. Excited to bring that one to you tomorrow. More importantly, we're getting ready to go for tonight's feature event, Kenny Miller and Kenny Hoffman. It's the Kenny and Kenny show on the front row as they're going to bring us down a green flag racing, this time off of turn number 4. 35 laps set to go green off of turn number 4. We're underway here at the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Green flag flies for Miller and Hoffman out front, and they're hoping nobody out there or themselves don't kill Kenny out here on the track. As you got Ernie Williams Jr., already a little contact up front. Hoffman slides back. They're 3 wide, triple set in the back here, though, on Charlotte. Wow, we said this track was racy, and you already see it.
Hoffman's going to make a slider on Kenny Miller. That's going to stick for the moment, but Miller's going to dive back to the inside, and he'll reclaim the lead. Ernie Williams trying to make it a 3-horse race at the front of the field. It's still the 2 Kennys duking it out for the race lead. Miller crosses Hoffman back down the backstretch, and he'll easily reclaim the lead down to 3.
Everybody's up top on the cushion for right now. Got to see where Rocky is. He's not quite down on the bottom lane yet, but up top, you're right. Miller's out front. Hoffman's there. Williams trying to hold off a charge by Show Block and a Rocky behind him. As you see, one's go low, one's goes high, as Miller's still out front trying to move away. It is a madhouse throughout this field right now, Drake. I mean, they are, low, high, in the middle, all the way through the field in the back. We got to pile up in the back here. Joe Howe is around. Chance Wolf along with him. Caution out. Let's go back on the replay here, see what happened. Might have been due to a car just getting kind of checked up. You see Wolf right. That's Howe, excuse me. Howe sends it. Oh, Wolf nowhere to go.
And they smacked the concrete. That's just putting it lightly down in turn 2. Thus our first caution of the evening. And you were saying it during green flag racing right there. This track is so racy right now, and during that warm-up, we normally see with this series is before the feature they do a track rework and then give the drivers about a 5-minute or so warm-up session depending on how long the officials think it needs to go, but 5 minutes is usually the cap. Tonight, no rework. They left the track as is, so this is how it's been since qualifying earlier tonight, and it's matured very nicely in the feature event, giving us plenty of grooves of the racing. Bang the boards like we see some of the leaders do. You can run through the middle, or you can putt around the tractor tires and see if you can make any speed down there. But to say the least, Joe, a lot of options for these drivers out here tonight.
And I don't want to say the word too easy to drive here, but these guys tonight are feeling great on a great track like you just said, because they have those options, their setups, whatever they have got set up on them. They know they can take it there to the top, middle, or bottom and make it working fast. And that has brought about some great close-quarter racing, and sometimes some guys getting themselves in a little bit of trouble as we set to go back green. Miller brings the field to the line along with Kaufman behind him. You got Williams right there on his tail tank. Don't count out Show Block and company. Look at this 3-wide set in the back.
Racing throughout the field, and I mentioned earlier, these starts and restarts are going to be probably the big turning points of tonight's racing action. But here's Colby Akari. You mentioned how he wasn't on the bottom earlier. His big crash.
Oh.
Ernie Williams, one of the cars upside down.
Yeah, Ernie Williams involved with that one along with Timothy Smith. Let's go back on the replay and see if we can't catch exactly what happened. It's up front here. You see Williams in that yellow machine. He's in third. I think that might be Smith down there in the middle. And this is third place shot.
I believe that's Smith just behind Williams in that purple,
sure
black,
that is
and
down
white
low
car.
then. Oh, that's a Akari down low, or Rocky down there on the low side. Okay. Looks like, yeah, just him and Smith just got together, coming off the turn, and then just chaos from there.
But what it looked like to me is Ernie Williams was turning down to try to get a run off the corner, and Timothy Smith miraculously got a run and somehow got a nose in on the outside, and that's just not a place or a time you'd really expect somebody to get to your outside off of turn number 2. A very odd circumstance to say the least, but that's going to put them both out of tonight's racing action, as there's no fast repairs with Next Level Racing 360's.
We brought that up. Yeah, there used to be a fast fix here. We could maybe try to get back out. There is none, so no good one on that. But again, you talk about it right there. That's how racy this track is tonight. And sometimes you put yourself in a little bit of trouble, and we saw it right there.
It looks like, according to our scoring, there will be only 14 cars left running when we go back to green flag racing. And not even at the 10-lap mark yet. So a lot of heavy hitters.
So say we're going to have about 5 left by the end?
Yeah, simple math tells me about 5 by the end.
Okay, all right. Y'all heard it first there. Drake's going off of 5 left by the end. And, not going to take anything away from a lot of these drivers here. I'll even say that if this track was this good and this racy, even with the 410s and a lot of pro drivers, they're going to get themselves in trouble too, because you just got to go back to, if you've got such a good car that feels so great, you feel like Superman in it, and you can just do anything you want. Sometimes, though, you still got to have that mindset of, hey, it's a race car, a race track. and this thing can step out here and bite me at any time.
No doubt about it. Kenny Miller brings us down and gets it right down the bottom side of the racetrack. A lot of moisture down there as he shoots out to the lead in turns 1 and 2, already building up about a 4-car length advantage. But he played the Jaws music. Here comes Colby Akari down on the bottom side of the racetrack, pulling it down there. He's trying to break onto the podium, and he's going to fend off Showblock down in turns 1 and 2.
Yes, he is, and right behind him, a huge battle, because you see Showblock and Rocky right there battling it out for the 3rd and 4th place. But Allen and West and Windland all battling back here. So we've got, battles up front, middle, and the back, all of it here in the track. See a 3-wide battle, 3 cars can't take the low line there, guys. You can only get maybe 1 or 2s. They're going to try it. As you see, Walker's now trying to see what he can do. He's back in 8th.
Now Waller transfer out of one of the consies earlier, and like I was saying, kind of rolling the Donnie Schatz line right through the slip with 25 laps to go, and Waller trying to move up through this field, racing Windland right now for that 7th spot. As Coulter West has an issue off of 4, and he's going to lose quite a few spots down into the corner. West, though, is going to regain his momentum and charge on down the backstretch, albeit now scored all the way back in 10th.
Got a little bump right there, and we've seen it all night long, even with the heats. Lose that momentum, but Iraqi has been able to fire that car on that bottom lane up to 3rd place. He is going to work over Hoffman right now, who is he maybe got the hint and heard that, like you said, the Jaws music down there on the bottom. Iraqi makes it around the low car. We're under caution, but who knows? Go back here and see what happened to Gerald Kuno. He's in that yellow machine up top. Maybe looks like the wall got out there. He bounced off of it and then bounced off another machine and then bounced off the dirt.
He was collected by another car. Nice job by Alex Szerzynski to miss disaster right there. We were talking about Colby Akari rolling the bottom side. He's so very good at it, and with the double file restart, he'll restart on the bottom side of the racetrack, and we've seen Kenny Miller get a great launch on these restarts with that bottom lane. You got to imagine Colby Akari, he's going to at least have a good shot at maybe the 2nd spot down to turns 1 and 2, and if things maybe just maybe work out in his favor, he could steal the lead away from Kenny Miller the 3rd, but the way Kenny's been running, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, it's been all Miller, and folks, I don't know why in the world that thing will not switch over to 360's. I have it actually typed in, and it still wants to show 360. I apologize. It's actually, we are in the next level racing 3, not 410s here tonight. Here's why my ticker just don't want to cooperate.
Ticker's excited for tomorrow, Joe.
It is. It's getting warmed up for tomorrow night. You're right. So, but I tell you what, I mean, if this is any indication of what we're going to see tomorrow night, man, if Bert's here with you tomorrow, it's going to be exciting. You two are going to have a show, because it has been a show here tonight as the pace truck is in. It's been Miller out front, though, been able to capitalize on being the leader and get out front and have that clean air, as he's going to do it again on the start. Hoffman has been able to get away a little bit from Iraqi, but Iraqi's been harassing him on that low line, and we're going to see if he can get it done again. But here comes Showblock tearing up the tail tank.
Showblock got a good run down the backstretch, and he's able to hang with Hoffman as they graze the turn 4 fence off the corner, and Showblock's going to break past Akari here. Akari fights back down to the bottom side of the racetrack, but Showblock's got the momentum down the backstretch. He's onto the podium in the 662 as he comes off of turn number 4. Next on his radar will be Kenny Hoffman.
So far, so good. You see Showblock take over that 3rd place spot. Iraqi, right now, he is still committed to that low line. He doesn't care if he falls back a little bit. He is going to stay down there until it comes back to him. Meanwhile, battle for the lead. Here comes Hoffman on Miller. Almost caught that back tire there as he did a slide job on him, but was able to hang on. But that's going to bring Showblock into the mix.
Showblock slid across the slick. Luckily for him, he's actually able to gain ground on Hoffman. I thought for sure he'd lose time as he got a good run that time through the middle, the exit of turn number 2. He's going to dive down to the inside of 3 and 4. Slide job gives Hoffman the lane on the outside. Very respectful racing here for the 2nd spot. But that's going to bring Colby Akari back into the mix. The battle for 3rd Ready though, Showblock able to get away with them as they turn down to 15 laps to go.
And it's a good one as Miller still out front walking away from it. Hoffman there in second, but Showblock is not letting Hoffman go as that's the battle for second. Iraqi still down there on that bottom hanging on to it as Allen has now moved up to the 5th place and Coulter West there in 6th. They're getting a little spread out here on this track.
That's, if you really think about it, not that many cars still running on the speedway. Looks like 13 cars still under power here at the dirt track at Charlotte with 13 laps to go. Here's the battle for second once again. Hoffman and Showblock. That battle rages on down the backstretch. Showblock sends it down deep into 3 and 4. Looks like he got off the gas in the middle of the corner because the car just seemed to almost stop in the center of the corner through the slick, and he lost a lot of valuable time to Hoffman as Miller is crushing the field here tonight at the dirt track at Charlotte.
So far, so good. These guys have put on a great show, and it's Showblock wanting that second place. Miller out front, though, still. He has walked away by almost, he's got a second, over a second and a half. He's closing in on that 2-second mark, so he's loving what he's seeing in his rear view, but Showblock is not letting Hoffman go here for that second place spot.
And it seems like Showblock does have the faster car, but as the old saying in racing goes, it's one thing to catch him, it's another to pass him, and that is being proven right here with Showblock. This time he has a good run, gives a little bit of a shot in the shorts to Hoffman as he's going to slide up. He clears Hoffman. Hoffman now returns the favor off the corner, down to the inside in 3 and 4, and just as things were getting good, caution out on the speedway.
Caution going to be David Allen. He was actually moving up through the field here. Let's see what happened to him. Got him maybe, well, unless the car behind him got to him, but I'm going to say the wall might have come out here and bit him. And, well, no. Bad job going
looks
on.
like that slider didn't quite go for Coulter West.
Oh. Allen just nowhere to go.
This is going to set up late race restart here with Kenny Miller and Kenny Hoffman. Remember, these two started on the front row. They've ran 1 and 2 most of this race, but I'm curious to see what Showblock can do if he can get past Hoffman, because we've seen him time and time again. He'll throw a slider and the slider doesn't go, and it takes him about 2 or 3 more laps to recuperate and challenge Hoffman once again for that second spot. He has shown he's faster than Hoffman. It's just been a matter of actually clearing Hoffman for the second spot. Like I said, Joe, who knows what could happen after Showblock clears Hoffman.
You're right. I mean, I'm with you on that one. We'll have to see what is going to transpire here as we're under caution. Miller has had the field covered so far tonight. I don't know if he's liking these cautions. Now, good news, going to be single file. Bad news, we're in the caution, and that gives a shot for Hoffman to get close to him again. But I think this single file start is what really is going to help Miller out here.
As is the rule with all the Fern Motorsports events, single file within the last 10 laps. Hoffman brings us down. They'll snake their way down from the top to the bottom off of turn number 4 and back into 1. Good start for Hoffman. Already has about a 3 or 4 car length advantage on second place Hoffman. And here's Showblock back in the 3rd spot. Look at the speed he's got on corner entry. As he tries to close in on Hoffman, catches the fence off of turn number 4. Keeps chugging, but he's definitely going to lose some time to Hoffman now.
Yeah, momentum. I've mentioned it several times tonight, and that wall out there will definitely stop it. It looks like Hoffman, though, right now, not letting Miller get away, but slowly but surely, as long as Miller doesn't make a mistake, I think he will. Showblock's able to pull back on the back end of Hoffman on the tail tank. Iraqi now. Look at this. I said earlier he was committed to the low line, but he has said, let me try that top end. My low end has just kind of went away, but meanwhile, Showblock is right there tearing up the back end of Hoffman.
And again, we talk about, look at the speed on Showblock all the way through the corner. That time was good on the entry and on the exit as he's about pushing Hoffman into the corner with 4 laps to go. Again, the question is, can he get past? Here it goes, deep down into the corner, slides up. It all the way to the fence. Hoffman back to the inside, and he'll reclaim the second spot.
Yes, he does. A slide job back and forth. We saw this earlier in the night. Hoffman there with Showblock as Hoffman's able to take that spot back away from him. Meanwhile, Tyler Windland, well, I tell you what, he's had an up and down night, but is able to battle himself back up here. He's in 5th right now with Sargent Those guys are kind of split up. Maybe a little battle going on back here around 7th place spot. As you see, Kunos gets in the back of Source, as Wes is back there too. But one of the hottest battles right now has got to be for the 2nd place as Miller's moving out. And there's that wall again. I think that's going to be the Achilles heel, whether or not Showblock can catch him at the right spot. Out of turn 4, final time.
Kenny Miller picks up the win, and Kenny Hoffman completes a 1-2 sweep for the Kennys. And nice Showblock gave it everything he had for that 2nd spot. Fell short, but lands on the podium nonetheless. A thrilling race here at the dirt track at Charlotte.
Yes, it was. All around from the heats to the mains, all the way to the feature. This was a very, very racy style track here tonight. And, well, I've always said, if that doesn't get your hair jumping up and down, running up and down on your skin, I don't know. Watch golf. Because I don't know what else to show.
No kidding. Well, I mean, the Masters are on, so that'll be good this week. But nonetheless, Kenny Hoffman, a dominating drive here at the dirt track at Charlotte. They give him a lot of momentum heading into tomorrow's Apex Autoglass and Tinting Wing 410 Sprint Car event. Once again, you can catch that right here on OSRN tomorrow night. Same time, same place. Hope you can join us for that one as well. As we talked about, if tonight's any indication of tomorrow night, it is going to be a barn burner for sure.
Absolutely. Well, let's bring up 3rd place man, Ty Showblock here. Let's get a word with him.
Ty Showblock looked like you had one of the fastest cars out there, Ty, and it just always a matter of circumstances of why you couldn't get by Hoffman. So for you in the driver's seat, why couldn't you get by Hoffman? Because it seemed like the speed was there.
Yeah, speed was definitely there all night. If I got a clean lap where I was, 10 or 15 car lengths off of him, I felt like I gained all the way up to his bumper, within a lap every time. I don't know, man. I just couldn't stick it on the bottom. I didn't really want to slide it up and bounce off the wall. I did probably halfway in the race and probably messed up the rear end a little bit on that one. I really just didn't want to take Kenny out or anything. I like good, clean racing, so I was just trying to stick it at that.
Would like to thank for helping you get on the podium.
Yeah, for sure. My buddy Hayden Spike Harvey helps me out a lot with setups, as well as Travis Oldfield and the boys out at Vanderpool Racing. Have a lot of fun together, and we put in a lot of good work.
Showblock on the podium here tonight at the dirt track at Charlotte. Good run for him.
2nd place man here, Kenny Hoffman. Let's bring him down. Let's get a word with him.
Kenny Hoffman, 2nd place here tonight at Charlotte. And Kenny, it looked like you were having to play defense for most of that race. And we just talked to Ty Showblock. He said the speed was definitely there in his car to get by you, but you were so good tonight on the defense. What made you good on defense, and how were you able to counterpunch every time Showblock threw a move at you?
I felt like I was just able to keep my momentum up as well. And like when you throw sliders around this place, especially with how slick it is, it really kills your momentum. So every time he did that in 3 and 4, I was able just to drive underneath him. There was one lap that he threw it, and I put the car around him, around the top, and I had like a center mirror away from the wall. But I just felt, I was just able to keep more momentum than he was, especially with, him throwing sliders and all that.
Anybody you'd like to thank for getting you on the podium tonight?
Just shout out to, all my friends that helped me out. Shout out to, Josh for putting the league on. Shout out to you guys for putting on some of the best broadcasts on here. Also gotta say shout out to my girlfriend Ariella for watching.
Hoffman completes a 1-2 sweep for the Kennys tonight. He is 2nd here tonight with the Next Level Racing 360's. Now let's bring up our winner, Kenny Miller III. Kenny, a dominating drive to say the least, and I know you're pumped about this one tonight, but I'm sure this has to get you even more excited for the Apex race tomorrow.
Yeah, hopefully we can carry this over to the Apex race since we missed last week with some power outages. But yeah, it was great to come out here and get a win in the 360's.
Anybody you'd like to thank for helping you get the win tonight?
I told Tim Smith that I'd give him a big shout out because he was the one that tuned me up tonight. But everybody over at Phantom Motorsports, M9 Setups, Velocity Race Designs, and Weichel Sportswear for helping out.
Kenny Miller wins here tonight at the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway with the Next Level Racing 360's, Joe. And, well, the racing second on back was good. Nobody really had anything for Kenny Miller.
Yeah, they did. The Miller was able to capitalize, get out front, stay out front, and had a good night all in all. But, wow, what some wild racing. I mean, from the start of the heats to the mains all the way to this feature, this track was set up beautifully and is very, very racy style track. We saw multiple grooves, high, medium, and low, working all night long. So it'll be interesting because now we go to the big boys of the wing sprint cars tomorrow night, 410s, a lot more power. The setup plays a huge factor in that. So can they control it more on this track? If it's as good as what it was tonight, it's going to be interesting what those guys do then.
She said same time, same place tomorrow. Well, that's going to do it for us here on OSRN. For Joe White, I'm Drake York. Saying so long from the dirt track at Charlotte.